Hello BookTube, my name's Jack and I've got a book problem. Welcome to Spread Book Joy. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jack. As I mentioned, I'm a primary school teacher and booktuber who likes to talk about my own reading and recommends great books for children for home or school. And I've got a ton of books that I have not read, and this is what this video is about. This is my attempt to catalogue my physical TBR. If you're not familiar with the term TBR, it's an acronym, stands for to be read. So that's all the books that you have that are yet to be read. And yeah, it's become a problem. My physical TBR, I don't know how many books are on it, but I'm getting really guilty. I'm particularly feeling guilty because I've got a lot of books that have been gifted to me or sent to me or lent to me. And when people do that, they want you to read that book. They want you to read that book, love it, and tell them about it and thank them for it. And that's what I want when I gift someone a book. And I've been gifted so many books in this past 6 months to a year since I've started. Well, I started back in September, Instagram and YouTube, and I've been gifted loads of books by wonderful new friends in the book community, by my family, by other friends who've lent me books or bought me books, and I just feel ashamed that I haven't read them. So first way to tackle a problem is to actually admit the problem. I'm admitting my problem. I have a book problem. The second is to let's actually see the extent of the problem. So today I'm going to make a start. This will probably be like a mini vlog of me cataloguing my TBR, my physical TBR first of all, and then if I feel really brave, I'm going to tackle my Kindle and audiobook, my ebook and audiobook TBR. And then I'm going to set myself some rules to try and get my books read. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is get all my physical books out. I've cleared my dining table, which is normally where I work, and I've got about an hour until my next online lesson. So I'm hoping I can get all the books out in about an hour and see the extent of the physical TBR problem. But my bookshelves are overflowing and a mess. And yeah, I have to do something about it. My partner also, he likes to read, but he's not someone who I would say is, he's not a bookworm. He enjoys books, he enjoys reading, but he's not happy with the amount of books in the house. He's not, he jokes about it. He's not, seriously upset about it, but it is becoming an issue. Look behind me. Some of these books are out here because I brought them down because I have books in the bedroom as well, of course, and books in the back bedroom, and I just need to, So first things first, let's get those books out. Oh my God. So if you have seen Alice in the Giant Bookshelf, her channel, she has 200 physical books she hasn't read on her TBR. I was hoping not to hit triple figures, but I have. I've got 108, so that's not too bad. I feel, thank you Alice for making me feel better about my physical TBR. Yeah, I've clearly got a problem. It's interesting, I was looking at it. It will go down, this number, and I'll let you know what it goes down to, because there are definitely books on here that I'm not going to read, or at least there are doubles as well. I didn't count the doubles when I counted them, but there are books that I'm just not going to read, so I'm going to put those into the local Little Free Library. Maybe I'll take you along with me. They're actually, Waltham Forest in London, the borough that I live in, has I think more Little Free Libraries than any other borough in the country, so I'm planning on doing a nice little walk around to the Little Free Libraries, and I was going to swap out for books, but I think I'm just going to leave a book, take a book, and show you the books that I took. But I think I'm just gonna leave books because I can't bring any more books into this house. In terms of adults versus children's books, I think I've got 39 unread children's and YA books, which is a lot. Some of them are classics that I bought secondhand that I really want to read, like Eragon, and Tom's Midnight Garden, so it's not like they're like urgent ones to get a review out for. Some books here by David Eddings. Now, Scott Nell from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, if you're watching, I'm planning on doing the cancel culture tag that you tagged me in a while ago. I'm just still thinking long and hard about my answers. I didn't realise there was that David Eddings was a problematic author. I recently bought the entire Belgariad, which is David Eddings' classic sort of 70s, 80s fantasy series, because I'd read the first one years and years ago, and it's a series I've always wanted to read because it's just like proper swords and sorcery, old fantasy, and I'm well into my old fantasy, but didn't realise until I watched their cancel culture tag that David Eddings is not a good person to say the least. Watched their cancel culture tag video and they mentioned that he was problematic, and I was like, really? David Eddings? Oh my gosh, like, you know, mainstay of fantasy literature. Turns out him and his wife Lee Eddings, who co-wrote a lot of his books, they were both jailed in the early 70s for some serious child abuse on children they'd adopted. They got jailed for it. If you're getting jailed for child abuse in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, whenever it was they were arrested and jailed, they did jail time. You've done some serious stuff, because as we know, you know, social care for children in those days was terrible. It's still not brilliant, but you know, it's far better than it was back in those days. And yeah, they did jail time for what they put those children through. So, this Leather and Sprayed Edge, volume 1 only of Neil Gaiman's graphic novel masterpiece, Dark Horse Comics, I think was it Dark Horse? No, DC, The Sandman. This is just volume 1. My brother's got me this. Real leather bound, beautiful. My brothers bought me this for my birthday. They each bought me a volume each. I've got 3 brothers, they've got 3 volumes. So this is why these are still in the plastic wrapping, because I feel like I don't want anyone to breathe on them. But yes, so look, this is amazing. So I've also got some other piles here. So some other really interesting TBR books that might surprise people that I haven't read yet. Circe by Madeline Miller, Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, House of Leaves. This has been on my TBR for I bought this about 4 or 5 years ago second hand, because it was an expensive book, so I hunted down a second hand copy. I do want to read this at some point, and I might actually be doing a buddy read with Alice on this, because this is one of her TBR veterans. So Alice, you and I may well get into this at some point. Yeah, The Testaments. There we go, there's Testaments. This is a new one, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Got this for my birthday. Yeah, Morrissey's autobiography, which I also don't think I'm going to read, because I don't think he's a very nice person either. I love the Smiths, a big fan of the Smiths. The Smiths isn't just Morrissey though, is it? So, but yeah, he's become a bit right-wing, shall we say. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to read his biography as well. And then the other thing is, when you decide you're not going to support or read these authors, what do you do with those books? Let me know if you've done that. Put in the comments. I mean, yeah. This is why I haven't answered the cancel culture tag as well, because I'm still wondering about the ethics behind all of this, and doing, you know, what do you do with your problematic author books if you decide you don't want to read them? Why would you put them out into the world again? But then, you know, then what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. I've got lots of Terry Pratchett, which my plan this year was to finish off my Terry Pratchett TBR, which currently stands at, it's not actually my Terry Pratchett TBR, it's my Terry Pratchett Discworld series TBR. I've got 7 books there that I really want to finish, because I want to finish the series by the end of this year. 7 books. I mean, they're not that short, they're quite quick to read, so yeah, I need to get into that. I haven't included things like this. Actually no, I did count that when I was counting, because I put it on the table just to have this discussion with you, but or just to let you know I've got books like this as well. So actually it's 107. Yay! Knocked one off already. Amazing. So I've also got some other piles that I started off separating. So this pile of books here, so these are all the grown-up fiction books that I've been sent by friends or lent by people. So these are my priority. Makes me feel a bit better. So these are the children's books that I've been sent as presents. But lots of these were birthday presents all on the weekend just gone. So in fact, all of these were. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm completely kidding myself. There's another book over there, which is Michael Rosen's On the Move. It's under one of those big piles. I'm not going to get it out, but my lovely friend Sally on Instagram at Salvo Reads, she got me that. Also, I just found these on the shelf that I forgot to take off. This is, I really like the look of this. I love a bit of a war story, war romance kind of thing. And these are the next two books in the Nine Princes in Amber series by, it says it on the front, Roger Zelazny. So yeah, I've got those two to go as well. So I thought I'd knocked one off, 100, now 100 back up to 110. So, some serious problems. I've got to clear all this space. I've got to do a lesson, and my partner's probably going to come downstairs and see all this and go, what is this? But I'm not telling him it's the books I haven't read. I think I'll never be allowed to buy another book again for the rest of my life, and probably I shouldn't. I've got a problem. Oh my gosh, I've got a problem. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I sorted out all the physical books. Here's a final count for you. So I didn't include the Sandman books because they're 3 massive volumes. I'm just going to read them, dip in and out of them. If it takes me years to read them, which I hope it won't, but you know, I'm just going to dip in and out of those, and I'm not putting pressure on myself to finish that in any kind of given time frame. I'm just want to enjoy that series. So I've taken those off. I've added on a couple more that I've found, and removed some that I'm going to definitely get rid of. The final total stands at 99. If I remove the David Eddings books, the Morrissey, a few others that I'm getting rid of, and then add on the couple that I found, it was 99. The final total stands at 99, which is not too bad. You know, that's a year's reading for some people. And I don't think that anyone who is a bookworm or bookstagrammer or booktuber is ever going to get their TBR down to 0. Why would you want a 0 TBR? We've got, you know, why wouldn't you want books ready to go when you need them? So there's no such thing as a 0 TBR if you're a bookworm, in my opinion. And I thought about why I've got so many. I mean, I know I've got a book buying problem, but I'm a mood reader, right? So sometimes I'll buy a particular set of books and then I won't fancy reading them for a while, and that's just the way life is. So actually, as a mood reader, I imagine having a larger TBR to choose from is better for me. I don't feel like I should have as many physical books that are not read, especially ones that people have gifted to me or lent to me. So I'm going to make it a priority to read those first. Also, going forward, buddy reads and readathons. If I haven't got books in my physical TBR, Kindle or Audible that will match up with the readathon, buddy read, whatever, I won't take part. I haven't thought about exactly the number I want to get it down to, but books that are gifts and been lent to me, once I get those under control, I think I'll feel less guilty about the size of my TBR. It's quite nice to have this huge TBR to choose from. There are a lot of books I'm desperate to read on it, and a lot of books that I know I'm going to love. And actually, if I do, I'm also a DNF person. If I don't like them, I'll DNF them, and then they're off the TBR anyway because they're not for me. The other thing I didn't include, I forgot to say to you, is I have quite a lot of classics, and I haven't included classics that I haven't read in my TBR. I used to be a bookseller for Waterstones, and one of the departments I ran was the classics department, and one of the years I happened to run the classics department in the late 90s, Oxford World Classics completely changed all of their covers. So what they wanted us to do was rip out the title page with the ISBN number on and send all the title pages back, and they would just send us out new books with the new covers on, which they did. But then we would put these in the staff room to give away. So I've got a lot of classics that I haven't read, but I don't get rid of, because I think, you know, classics, I will pick them up one day. I may or may not, but I like to have the option of having them there. I haven't included those on my TBR because they're not books that I'm like desperate to read or anything, but they are books that one day I would like to get around to reading. So they're not included in my 99. And I have had a look at my unread Kindle books. There's an issue with this. Now, it says if I filter by unread, it says I have got 398 unread books. 398. That's not true. So 160 of those are samples. I also share a Kindle family library with my brother, so lots of them are not necessarily my books that I've bought, so I don't feel so guilty about that. But also, I know when I filter and I click the unread filter, there are some DNFs on here. So I recently DNF'd The Other Bennett Sister. There are also books on here that, because I'm a teacher, I have the Kindle version. So I don't know, there's an English revision guide for the 11 plus because I'm tutoring for children for that, and things like that. Then there are books that it's saying I haven't read, but I have, and I have finished. So it's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I definitely finished that recently. So I would have to go through the hundreds and hundreds of books on here and count them, which I might do. So I might do an update on this video at some point with my Kindles and my Audible unread, unlistened books. And the other thing is I buy books in several formats. So currently one of the books that was on my TBR that I'm now reading, I suppose it's book 100 actually. I say now reading, I've just started it for my buddy read with Ariel from Reading Whatnot, is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. And I have that on here as well because I bought it in several formats so that I can read it wherever and whenever. So yeah, it's a bit trickier to look at Audible and Kindle, but I will, and I'll either update on this video or I'll do another video at another point. I'm just going to put together what I've got now footage wise and see what's there and update you. But so far what I think I'm going to have to do is no more buying books until I feel comfortable with my TBR. No more library books, because that's another thing. I also then go and borrow piles of books from the library, unless I'm sent something to review or a gift. Then that's it for me for the moment. Okay, here's an update. So I signed off thinking that would be the end of the video. That was yesterday. Today I've received some more books in the post, which is this box here. I'd like to say I was sent them, but I actually ordered them, but for good reason. So I had my birthday at the weekend, as I might have mentioned already, and I got some cash for my birthday, and I thought I'm gonna buy some books, second-hand books from a shop that I absolutely love, the Inquisitive Goblin, link in the description box. So I needed, before I open all this, I needed a copy of The Gunslinger. They had a copy on there, so they had a copy of The Gunslinger and the drawing of the three, and seeing as they're my part of my Stephen King summer, The Gunslinger at least, I ordered them. So I'm going to open it up, this big box, and I can't remember what else I've ordered. This will be fun. Okay, they're all second-hand books, so don't feel quite so guilty about ordering new books. Let's see what book. So I thought I had 99 books on my list. Let's see what book 100 is. Oh, look, they're all wrapped up like presents. Oh yes, this. Do you see this? I kept seeing this on their website, and then I had a look. I thought I'll look up this series, Duncton Wood. I've never heard of it before, but it's amazing, sounds amazing. Very well loved old series, a lot of it out of print apparently. Look at this bit of a chunk, isn't it? But it's about moles, it's all about moles. So it said people who love Watership Down or sort of anthropomorphic kind of animal stories like that will love this book. Into the magical, colourful, poignant world of Bracken and Rebecca, Mandrake the Tyrant, Boswell the Scribe, Hulver, Comfrey and all the other moles of Duncton Wood. Set deep in the English countryside, this enchanting story tells of an ancient community losing its soul but saved by courage and love. I love stuff like this, so that's exciting. So very, very exciting. My first John Gwynne. If you're a fantasy fan, you've probably read John Gwynne's books. I haven't, and this is the first book in his Faithful and Fallen series. Yeah, Faithful and Fallen, book 1. Right, this is hilarious. So it's the book 1 of the Farseer trilogy, which I used to own. I've bought copies of this by my partner's brother, my brother-in-law really, and he bought them for me for one Christmas because I'd requested them. Then I read book 1, loved it. Read book 2, all right. Book 3, DNF'd. But I do love Robin Hobb's writing, and it was a little while ago, and I've really had a hankering recently to say, I'm going to give them another go. Then realised I must have lent them to someone or given them away. Anyway, it's pre-pandemic, I don't know where they are. And I like these old versions. And really cool story, if you're like Robin Hobb. So there's a guy I follow called Library of a Viking on Instagram, who's brilliant Instagrammer, fantasy Instagrammer. And he posted about his quest to find matching covers because he buys his books. He's bought his books secondhand, and he wanted matching covers of the Farseer trilogy, and he's got the newer covers for most of them apart from one that keeps getting sent. It's the old cover. He tweeted about it, and Robin Hobb tweeted back about the covers and how amazing the UK covers are, and she said that these covers were designed by someone who ended up working on the Lord of the Rings films. Look at them. So I imagine this person was a concept artist for Lord of the Rings, and front cover illustration by John Howe. So if anyone knows about John Howe or his art, this is why I wanted these specific versions, because I love these covers. I love old fantasy covers with concept art on. I have to say, I'm just not a fan of this type of cover. Book 103 is book 2 of the Farseer trilogy. Look at that, look at those covers. Just love it. I mean, this one's a little bit ripped and a little bit old, but I just love the cover art. And imagine this book 104 is book 3 of the Farseer trilogy. It's like getting presents, I love it. Ta-da! The Gunslinger and the drawing of the 3 for my Stephen King summer. See, book 1 and 2 of the Dark Tower series. So 105 books now. Technically they're not all unread though, some of them are rereads. Oh yes! This is the other sort of anthropomorphic fantasy series that I've wanted to read for a long time, Redwall, and this is the first book in the Brian Jakes beloved Redwall series, which I've never read, and I can't believe I've never read. Redwall Abbey. Oh, I'm so excited for these books. So excited. And last, haven't got the foggiest idea what this is. So, I should have known. This is book 3 of the Farseer trilogy. I should have known what that was. And I think I love this cover the most. Look at that cover. Oh, I just love it. So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more books. So 107, back up to 3 figures of unread books. Technically, the Robin Hobb trilogy is a reread, apart from the last book. So I'm going to take 2 of those books off. And so the Gunslinger is a reread, and so is Drawing of the 3. So technically they're not new. 4 books of these I haven't read, so 99 plus 4, 103. That's my total at the moment, 103. And interestingly, I did look at audiobooks, and it's not that bad really. The audiobooks weren't that bad. When I scrolled by not started, some of them I had started, and lots of them were podcasts, because on Audible you can download podcasts. I'm not going to curtail my audiobook buying because I feel like I can't see them, so it's fine. But also I've got 9 credits left on my Audible annual subscription, and Audible have just announced, I don't know if anyone's seen it, they've got this included with Audible thing now for members, which means that loads of things are now free as part of your membership, which is about bloody time. How much money do we pay to Audible every year, and you only get the credits? So anyway, that's where I am with that. So there we are. So yeah, in terms of audiobooks, like I said, I'm not going to add those. Kindle books didn't look too bad, but a lot of the Kindles, like I said, are in double format for me. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with my physical TBR of 104 now 39 children's or YA, and the rest all adult books. At the moment though, like I said, I'm prioritising ones that were sent to me or gifted to me or lent to me, so they're the ones I'm going to try to finish first. So there we have it. I'm going to try and wrap up again. I did try and wrap up at the end of my last video. I've cut that wrap up off. But if you like this, if you've got a TBR of immense proportions, let me know in the comments below if you think my TBR's not that bad. Yeah, please let me know about that as well. And I'll see you again here soon. Bye.